Hey, here we are.
Wow, another week of Weekly Mojo, bright and early.
No
Caught me off
shit.
guard there. I hit the live button, and 3 seconds in, I was mid-sip.
Yeah, no, the time delay got me just a minute, and then I saw red, and I was like, well, here we go.
Yeah, that's
Another week, another round.
your host, Madison Jessica.
Yeah, that's me. I usually wait till you intro me, and I was just like, no, let's get this shit going.
Yeah, oh well.
Excited about, excited to talk about our baddie of this week.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Joanne Carner is her name.
The great Gunderson.
Where does that come from? I guess we'll learn in the story.
So it's her middle name. I looked it up because Carner, I was thinking it was like Garner, but no, it's Carner, C-A-R. And then I was like, so if that's it, then where is Gundy or
Right,
Gunderson
because I had a
from?
Coach Gunderson growing up, and he had a brother, and they were athletes, and they was known as Gundy and Gundo.
I wonder if it's her maiden name or someone's maiden name. That's her middle name. But anyway, it's
Probably a
Gunderson,
family name, you're right.
The Great Gundy is basically as she goes by. But excited to get into this bad bitch. I saw her because of one of our favorite speaking of Ryan Kelly comedy, the Instagram account that is famous for going through all of these like,
I think I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, right. The ball mason jar company. What could they possibly be involved in? And it's like, and then it gets into like military weaponry. Like it generally just always gets into military weaponry. But cheers.
This guy.
Cheers to Ryan Kelly. He's phenomenal. He looks just one of our. LOL. Wow, that looks like that looks like a premonition for what we're experiencing in World War III right now. I hope that you all could hear that.
How?
I just
Japan and Germany.
Oh no, I mistook China and Russia's flags.
Yeah, very much so.
Those rose-colored lenses, they make my life very blissful until it's, the wrong shade.
Well, you know what they say, ignorance is bliss.
When you're married half a century. Oh my god. G-Eazy hit that line so well. What a fucker of a human being, but great song.
Is it more or less of a fucker than Machine Gun Kelly?
Oh my god, they're all
just kind of the same people in my mind.
Oh my god. All right, well.
Oh, look, we got the infinity mirror on.
Nice. This is why I love her. Look at that bitch. Just smoking a ciggy. Not a fucking care in the world. So anyway.
The TLDR is she is a female John Daly for the golf fanatics out there, but that is an understatement for her story.
For sure. Because she's got the cred of Tiger Woods and like the championships to back it up.
So does John Daly.
I'm sure he does.
But the point is she's her own person and she has her own story, and we're going to cover that here shortly.
Hell yeah. And I can't wait for Adam Sandler to cover it in Happy Gilmore 2, because if this bad bitch doesn't get
throwback to episode 6 or 7 or something.
Did we?
We alluded to the fact that we were covering her in the future.
Hell
and that you wanted Tiger, you wanted Adam Sandler. Yeah, anyways, they're filming in Orange, New Jersey.
Interesting. Well,
I got hit with ads to be an extra. They pay $167 a day.
Wow, you went further into that ad than I did.
That was the headline of the ad.
Nice. All right, cool.
Get paid $167 a day to guest star or whatever.
That's pretty. I feel like What an interesting way to spend your day.
Here's Joanne Carner, just so we can rest on something nice on the double screen.
Yeah, that's fair.
So this is what they're looking at and us right now.
Well, and she is basically all ready to go as far as digitized, which usually will do that in the...
No, this isn't digitized.
Oh,
this
it's
is
not?
the real picture.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
I got good highlighting on her.
We still can digitize it, don't get me wrong. I should go get the real file, though. Continue.
Anyway, yeah, Joan... What a bad fucking bitch. I just really want Adam Sandler to cover her. She's gotten like 43 LPGA like grandstand titles. That's fucking nuts. She's still playing to this day. Like, I'd love to see her and Trump go head for head because I bet this.
Truthfully, I really want to see
kicking.
her and John Daly in a playoff. That's who
I want to see them go duos.
Sure.
I want to see them
or
pull
that
up to the Happy Gilmore set and fucking kill everybody as far as like crushing the course.
Yeah, and if this is somehow some golf beef that I'm
that.
ignorant of, I apologize for my ignorance. I don't want to.
Anyway, listen, we can live in our own realities.
Yeah, right.
Oh man, she's
cool.
Wild.
All right, here's her folder. They get to see, the fact that I built a spreadsheet of the catalog of your art inventory.
She just keeps growing. It's wild.
Yeah, I assume we don't have all the pieces you've ever done. We tried to make them all digital, though.
I mean, not everyone. Listen, nobody wants to see your like chicken scratches from 6th grade that like didn't turn out as good.
Sure. I mean, sometimes they do. They like to see the evolution once you get to be a good artist or whatever.
Once you get there. But ultimately, nobody wants to see 4th graders' art unless it's like
Picasso's 4th grade art.
You. Yeah.
Yeah, but like you wouldn't have known that at the time at which Picasso was creating the art.
Again, I get back to I don't disagree with anything you're saying. I'm alluding to yes, unless you're famous, you're like stuff in the early years doesn't make a difference unless you're known by that like person to you. Like your mom liking your artwork when hanging it up on the fridge. Like exactly. That's the relevancy until and unless you're famous.
And websites are my fridge.
So I'm supposed to call you daddy?
No. But if you want to name your show that, you can.
No. Oh shit. Hey, recommendations corner. We've been watching whatever that Nobody Wants This.
No, that show is the one we said sucks.
It's fine. I like Kristen Bell. That's the issue. I'm still trying to figure out how my mom sees that as me. Would love to know.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not Jewish.
Yeah, no.
I mean, like 0.05% according to 23andMe.
I also
that's why I was in the hack.
Never dated anybody. I mean, like I dated like one other person, and it lasted no longer than 6 months. Like, I'm not sure where the similarities are, other than you have now I'm on a podcast. But
yeah, I mean you got a podcast, but I'm not your sister, and we don't talk about sex.
But it's fucking
she doesn't know about this.
It's
just a video blog right now. We technically haven't released any of these.
This is true. Well, it was supposed to be done this week, but maybe next week we'll get to it.
Yeah.
If you're here, you're real deal. If you're finding us on Spotify and whatever your podcast platform is.
This is probably 3 months down the road from now when we're recording this.
Enjoy the content. Hopefully we're still doing this shit.
Yeah. We're going to leverage Cass's connections to try to get us on some newsletters about podcasts when we release. So,
Ooh, interesting.
So 6 colors
Was
creates
not
a
enough.
very yeah, but I like it, and we
You're
should
right.
consider this as a version that we release at some point.
Okay.
Simply, and maybe even in honor of the Masters. The
Sure.
reason is it's all green.
Yeah.
It's Augusta. It's probably underwater at the moment, but
Different stories. Oh my god.
she looks like money there. Which is another fucking cool concept.
That is funny because I just did Henrietta Lacks, who looks like she should be immortalized on a gold coin.
We should make her par dollars.
Sure. I like it.
I don't know what that even means, but that's what we're calling them because golf is par and you use par value in business and money. And so now par dollars, and she's the face of it. Okay, let's see what we can do with more colors.
Not like pardon, like pardal.
No, but unfortunately, I'm hearing rumors that Dali may need a pardon.
What does that mean?
She might be a part of all of the entertainment business shenanigans, but in Nashville, which is a known trafficking hub.
I hate everything in this world. That is not good. I feel like
I have no idea.
Don't tell me.
Just saying rumors are swirling.
Don't break my heart. Oh my god, I can't. I mean, like I could. It's really.
And then also the rumors are
one
that
person
Jay-Z
that's
is
really
way
hard to
worse than
see.
Diddy.
Oh, I'm not surprised to hear that.
Well, sure, but
Literally,
like still,
the entire.
it's just minutes
You
until
saw how everybody. Oh, it's so weird how it still mutes the.
it's very
color.
muted. So 16 colors isn't enough.
That's wild.
Well, it's like you said, you did a great job with shading.
No thanks. I saw a bunch of videos where Jay-Z was just sitting there being praised, and Beyonce gets praised anytime she doesn't win Album of the Year. It's almost like every artist is forced into like wanting for Beyonce, even if she.
Yeah, it's probably in their contract.
Yeah, but literally, it's kind of crazy when like you watch the videos of them all simultaneously, like or successively, like for her. I'm just like, this is kind of fucking nuts.
Yeah.
No, but like this is actually fucking nuts. The fact that she sang about killing a bitch and got blood all over her outfit as a result of it, her couture. I'm like, how is that not just like you admitting to death, like to murdering someone or being a part of that?
It's artistic license, and you can't hold people accountable for artistic license.
Innocent until proven guilty. And I'm like, okay, but hear me out. When your stomach folds in and you're not responsible for birthing your own daughter that looks just like the woman that died that's been having an affair with Jay-Z, that seems a little suspicious.
So this is a throwback to last 2 weeks, and everybody loves Sosa.
Right? That bitch knows everything.
Everybody loves.
That was 2 weeks ago.
So I said 2 weeks ago with Everybody Loves Sosa.
It's crazy.
And the real Everyone Loves Sosa, Chief Keef. And he was one of the first people, I believe, that was being tried for the crimes he was singing about in his song. Maybe it was Bobby Shmurda. Or whatever. I'm like not good at all of this.
I don't
know.
You're learning me some information-ish.
Yeah, well, some people apparently have been tried in the past for their song lyrics, and it hasn't gone so well for the law, I believe.
And again, I'm like, that's all fine and dandy. It feels like there's plenty of evidence at this point, but like they just don't want to string it all together because Jay-Z and Beyonce are a part of something that is much larger than what the United States government can participate in. That's very clear.
Well, all
of our money is being sequestered over into Israel.
It's called Project Mockingbird. It is a U.S.-based operation. It might have influence from other places, but there is directly oversight called Project Mockingbird.
And you're describing like how the CIA has its own media production company and how it participates in creating
Kind of.
media.
They
for
own a
us
whole
to
bunch of
watch.
media companies. They own a bunch of different brands of companies that put out media.
Who owns A24? God bless them. Please don't let it be the government.
Yeah, so they can't technically do propaganda in our country, but if we encounter other countries' propaganda, that's our fault. In the age of the internet, it's super easy for the other countries' propaganda to end up in America. But then there's stuff like the fact that to get around that, even like I don't even know how this really works, you know, this is all like, but like basically, you know, we just exposed a whole bunch of right-wing influencers that were getting cut checks by Russian oligarchs. But we also know that you know, our politicians are paying out checks to left-leaning influencers in the exact same capacity.
Everybody's getting paid out. I saw. Okay, this is.
We're not getting paid. We don't make any shit. That's why we still talk like this.
Oh
if
my
we
God.
start talking like,
if I start sounding like a robot, you'll know that I've been controlled. And I'm
yeah, stop tuning. Well, don't stop tuning in because I want to get paid. But you know, just don't take my word for it anymore.
I'm watching people choose to take the broccoli like stalk off of the bottom of the head of the broccoli crown. Because they're like, why the fuck would I keep and pay for something that I'm not going to use?
When they're weighing it at the checkout? Exactly, yeah, that's brilliant.
Literally, it's very brilliant. But then here's the bite back around. Here's how I realize how many people are being paid by the government and these like other affiliates, because then I see on TikTok and Instagram all of these videos on how to use the stalk of the broccoli, and then there's like a whole like the education around the broccoli stalk being actually like less bitter than the florets. That's true.
Okay.
So like if you don't care for broccoli because it's bitter, it's probably like you would enjoy the stalk more than you would like the floret. And all of these different things to where I'm like, okay, they're all just trying to cover their own ass. And now I'm like, why are you pushing cottage cheese so much? And I fucking love cottage cheese. Don't get me wrong. That bitch gets me through everything. Protein. But like Parmesan has more protein per ounce than any meat you can like put down. Parmesan has something like 32 grams. This is like over like aged over 3 years. Parmesan has like 30 grams of protein in one little like cube. Connor, that's nuts.
What does?
Parmesan
has protein in it?
More than chicken, more than beef, more than
so when we just eat chunks of,
I mean, that's kind of that.
I'm cool. Let's see. Keep eating
it.
The
other side of that is like sometimes cheese can like back you up if you don't have enough roughage going through your body. But
that's never been true for me.
Well, I'm glad to hear it. I guess it's really hard to say where I'm at, because when I was in that position, it was also because I was just being fed only carbs, like only simple carbs, and there was no roughage going through my body. I don't know. The body keeps the score. Your body will absolutely let you know how you feel. If you're eating shit, you'll feel like shit. You'll probably continue to want to eat shit though, because that's an instant gratification thing that like scientists that were in the smoking industry were then brought into.
God, this is everywhere. My mom was telling me about this over the weekend, and I'm like, well, yeah, but I'm like, yeah, I found out about this on TikTok months ago.
But it's fucking crazy. Well, now that that's good progress for that information to get to us, because we saw this probably about a few months ago, which is basically cigarette scientists needed to be employed, so they just put them into industry for refined processed products.
Okay,
all of the shit that we consume.
So yeah, so the chemists and the scientists from the nicotine companies those companies spun out those research labs as independent companies that they still owned. And those independent companies are most of the chemical and pharmaceutical companies in New Jersey. The food additives industry is what it's called. And basically, when you're looking at your ingredients list, what was it? The most ridiculous one is ice cream from my point of view. Mostly
bread.
No. Let's just get the ice cream for a moment because of the health benefits you recently told me about, which I just love.
Oh yeah, the entire industry is covering up the fact that they ran a study that
ice cream is healthier for you than Greek yogurt.
They compared yogurt and ice cream for you in the morning for breakfast because they're like, clearly this has to win out. But ultimately, ice cream won because it has egg yolks in it.
It's more balanced.
Huge benefits from fat consumption. You think about it.
You need your macros in balance. You can't have just protein without carbs and without fats. You can't just have carbs without fats and protein. You can't just have fats without carbs and protein.
But all of it is sitting densely packed in an egg. That's what's fucking nuts to me. Because it's like the egg is literally the jam-packed.
It's an embryonic cell. Life. Yes, you're eating a baby. You're eating a chicken baby.
True,
you're eating the
ethical responsibilities. But
who cares? It's food.
It's about acknowledging
the
life cycle, because ultimately anything
I have respect for it, but I'm hungry.
Is being
give it to me murdered, scrambled,
including vegetables, because they have their own frequency in life. So it's just fucking nuts.
When I go, it knows I'm honoring it.
It's your ohm.
Yes, my ohm is
Fuck.
Anyways,
how did we get here from
additives? Right, we were discussing the food additive industry because my mom brought it up because you were sharing a TikTok, and this is all indirectly related to all kinds of stuff.
I know.
But I wanted to finish why I was sharing the ice cream piece is because it used to only be 5 ingredients, and now it's 35 ingredients, and supposedly the reason why the pharmaceutical industry is doing it is because these inorganic compounds and synthetic materials that they use for flavoring or preservation purposes, or whatever, coloring, because that's what it's there for as well, then they have to use other things to compensate, right, and make it taste right always. And so there's this escalating modification of our foods where we're eating mostly plastic synthetics and not real food, and it's supposedly cheaper, but it's only cheaper because the R&D was subsidized.
It's and the work. That's what I'm saying. I'm like,
but everything it's producing are outcomes that are carcinogenic because our body's we don't know how to process these weird foreign things you've just pumped us full, and some of us will evolve.
No, but we don't though, because that's literally what they're trying to subsidize with the meat
but we do
with stem cells.
We do, but it comes in the form of cancer and all of these other things, because that's what it looks like when it goes wrong. Right, and that's what we're all dealing with, because we have so many chemicals being pumped into us all at once.
How many kids do you know that have been suffering with cancer, and how recent has that been? Because
it all started in the 90s. It didn't start in the 90s, but
it's been escalated.
Yeah, in the 90s. That's when they started
generations worth of science.
That's when they destroyed all of the snacks on the shelves. The snacks on the shelves used to be okay, not great for you, still health principles applied, but now we've gone from snacks that you need to be moderate of to these are literally poison that you're addicted to. And trust me, I'm addicted.
It's the addictedness. Holy shit. Oh yeah, there's cyanide in this. About 4 times the legal limit.
The good news is you're building a tolerance.
It makes you stronger.
Exactly. So you're never going to be able to be eligible to be a spy in World War III because the cyanide pills won't work on you.
Exactly. Among so many reasons why I should not be a spy. I am a loud fucking bitch. That is what I will say. Who literally just
you're not discreet.
No,
demure, not.
I'm feral as fuckboy. It's something that I will always be. I feel like
mindful, demure. That's not you.
No.
That's more me. Relatively speaking.
cunning and calculated is how I would describe you. But masking well. No, feral as
Don't
fuck.
shatter the illusion.
Well, if people are autistic, they will see through most facades. That's for sure. Oh my god. Are we gonna get back into this bitch?
Yeah, I pulled up a story, but
I'm
this is
excited.
how our
This is
episodes always go.
generally how
Otherwise,
it
like, what else are we gonna do? People come here for the story that we tell eventually, but they mostly come here for the bullshit. we
I'm just
talk about.
wondering how much skipping y'all have to go through, and like how frustrating is that? They're probably not here anymore.
Do you think they? Okay, well, if you guys come for the pure history, you're nerds, and I respect
You're in the
it.
wrong series.
Yeah, more or less.
We
Anyways,
would've been out by episode 4 because it gave us an entirely wrong story. So like
right. Well, you probably
Six.
didn't know the history before you got here. That's why you came.
Oh wait.
No one tells these stories.
Oh, actually, episode 4. No, that was Jewel Ham. That was also we got better on that one. But my grandparents came to see us this weekend, so they were able to. I painted Carol Ann, who I fucking feel she still deserves to be pardoned by the state of Nebraska because she was kidnapped by this older. Anyway, go back to that episode. I think it's 3. But my grandpa went to school with the piece of shit that kidnapped her. That's wild. And he also was a history teacher for like 50 some years. So thank you for your service, Papa. But he essentially ended up getting to meet her a few times because she was running the like prison, the guard, like the door. Like she's just that good. She was that good of an inmate to where she was responsible for letting people in and out.
Mm-hmm.
That I mean, like she's an incredible human being that's living out the rest of her life. And fuck you, Nebraska, for not giving her the pardon that she deserves. But it's clear that
she's number 5.
5. Oh, she is 5. Okay, cool, nice. I was curious because I knew Anna Conrad's story it was fixed during the show, but damn, ChatGPT.
Oh, do we add a whole bunch of new merch to the shop this week?
Oh fuck! Oh yeah. Let's go! Oh my god, I'm so excited. My grandma. Well, what if people don't like snakes? Well, grandma, then they're not gonna buy it. Then they don't want the pussy like snake. Like it's just that is not for them, and that's okay. But I fucking love her. So
talk about this. You saw this somewhere on Pinterest, and you're like, I can freehand draw that myself. I want that for my collection.
Yeah, if it wasn't Pinterest, it was Instagram doom scrolling. But yeah, that was a few years ago. I wanted to do that so bad, and I want the sweatpants version of that we figured out at some point, but we'll get back there eventually. Mm-hmm. It's join or die. I probably did that in 2022, right after Roe v. Wade was overturned, and everyone.
This was a part of our original NFT project that we're still working on, super slowly, clearly.
Yep. And then this little bad bitch who's just apathetic as shit, sick of how this world is treating her. Alice in Blunderland is one of my favorites from like my college years that I had done. I clearly didn't know what I was doing with backgrounds and was only working in one medium with graphite. So it was just like, all right, let's just shade it all in. But everyone asks if she's Olivia. No, she is not meant to be. She was another Pinterest sign.
And who's Livy?
Oh, at this point, I figured everybody knew. But Livy is
everyone's new to every episode.
Sure. Livy is my next sister, who is a badass pediatric nurse who's also getting her PhD online. Well, that fucking
nerd.
I'm just
respect it, Livy.
Holy girl! I'm like, no wonder you're sleeping. Holy shit, I'd be exhausted too. Mm-hmm. And so we get to go. I get to go hang out with them later today after this wraps up.
Yeah, she works harder than. Sometimes even you. You work your ass off.
No. I mean, Livy, like, I pushed for 4.
And so quiet about
it. 4.5, 5 years, and I was opting out because I was like, I can't keep in this school
Yeah.
universe is killing me. What doesn't kill you makes you stronger.
And then they have a whole pet of the week thing.
Oh my god, that literally my mom and I talking about being the fly on the wall in their house because
her boyfriend, who they've been dating longer than we've been together.
Truly going on like something like 7 years. Just
it's almost a dentist.
Yep, in his last year, he's why I'm going down or up to hang out with them. But Nala had her birthday and she got to be pet of the week. So we got the updates from Tyler, and that was just some of the. I mean, it was.
They have 3 pets. You know, 2 cats competing. 3 and 4, and then their dog had 1 point.
And we're just wondering how he got that 1 point.
Well, sure.
It's probably guilt, honestly. They're like, shit, Remy.
We gotta give him 1.
I bet it was last week.
I bet he never actually got it, and that was just for the photo.
Totally. But it's been fun to watch the two of their relationship evolve because I lived with Libby while they were like starting out, and that was so weird. So weird. I will always hesitate to like people that are potentially going to hurt your family. That's not easy. So
I had to take shots of Skull because of it.
Yeah. That, and I think you got ice too. I mean, there was a few.
I don't view that as a bad thing.
Well, sure.
I love being ice.
The initiation.
Ice me anytime.
Libby iced you and Tyler scolded you.
Yeah, see, exactly. The scolding was the worst.
Funny.
I was like, that's bathroom cleaner.
Yeah. I would love to see Tyler
he even
take a
said
shot
he
of it
used
now.
it as a toilet bowl cleaner.
He's like, it's multi-purpose. And it was like, if anything is being
considered
multi-purpose,
it shouldn't go inside of
your body.
Well, okay, so then this also takes us back to the pharmaceutical industry conversation from earlier. Most of those chemicals serve dual purposes as well.
True.
It is not just the food industry that leverages them many, many times.
It's kind of wild how the FDA, the Food and Drug Association, are working in the same, like, how do you, food and drug, food should not be a drug. You know what I mean? Like, those should not be considered, looked at under one entity. Those are
you've never eaten mushrooms,
different
clearly.
Specialty. That is not true. Oh my god, Costco has a gorgeous 4 little variety selection that I love. If you fry that up with butter and a little bit of garlic, oh fuck. And seasoning. Dynamite dust. Oh, gotta get that. All right. This is the last little bit. Prideful Renaissance. I love the idea of these.
Don't you love how there's an ad at the bottom?
My merch.
We have an ad for all the other products featuring this artwork and the ability to mint the NFT itself below every product page for that product. I'm very proud of that personally because that's something I've tried to do for 4 years and then I finally got it to work.
That is crazy.
It doesn't look how I want it to, but it works.
That's awesome.
And it looks okay.
I mean, you're actively developing a front end, and I can only see how that exponentially grows us from here.
Yeah, and this is one technology system that I'm learning to build front ends in. I'm separately learning Django, which I'm also proud of.
For sure. That's what I was trying to call out. I mean, this one, your website development has come a long way in the last couple years. But this is pretty exciting. And then we got to get into Joan.
No, I know. But it's kind of cool because I have to open the right project. So, this is so weird. This looks like code stuff. It is code stuff, but I can't even show this now because I haven't uploaded to my GitHub on my desktop, so you can't see it. Well, yeah, it's not worth looking at. So, anyways, we'll get into Joanne's story.
Yeah, is it Joan or is it Joanne? God damn it, this is this.
Well, I don't know
I
how to
should look
pronounce it, but like I'm a reader, not a listener.
I think it's Joan, but correct me if I'm wrong. She's still around. She just did another PGA tournament, I'm pretty sure. She's like in her 80s. What a bad bitch. Joanne? Big Mama!
Got many nicknames.
Look at how fucking cute she is.
Sweet.
The Great Gunderson!
All right. Do you want to be narrator one today?
Sure. You've probably heard of some big names in golf, right? Tiger Woods, Jack Nicklaus, maybe. Okay. Oh my God. Maybe even Annika Sorenstam.
I assume that's right.
Sure. But have you heard of Joan the Great Gundy Carter?
But have you heard the greatest tale of all? Rudolph the Red. Sorry, that's like that. That's how you sounded going into that. But have you heard of Joanne the Great Gundy Carter?
Yeah, I think the narrator one's kind of throwing me off, but I'm working with it. That's funny. We're entering into holiday season. It's all scary for everybody.
Yeah, well, it's spooky season now. It's supposed to be. Hold on, Gundy. That doesn't sound like the name of a golf legend.
Well, Joan Carter was a legend, born in 1939. She got the nickname Gundy from her maiden name Gunderson. Hell yeah, I called that out. But trust me, her skills were anything but ordinary.
So not middle name. Or did it become her middle name?
Well, it is her middle name is Gunderson.
No, it's her maiden name.
Oh, okay.
So that means it's her last name from
so
before.
So it's probably that. And she just doesn't have her.
She just got called Gundy before she became Carter.
Sure.
So she kept her nickname.
That makes sense.
That's what I assume it is.
That makes sense.
But
that is an homage to like what Milova's conversation.
In a way, and your own.
Yeah.
How do you keep your identity as you move on?
You gotta be a fucking legend to start with.
If your nickname precedes you, well, it doesn't matter what your last name becomes because your nickname from your original last name still goes with you.
Yeah, she's got many names, it feels like.
Well, yeah, Big Mama. Even another one, isn't that Kelsey's cat?
No, but literally, though, yeah, Big Mama and Little Kitty. Oh, shout out.
All righty. So what makes her so special? I mean, there's lots of great golfers out there, right?
Well, let's start with the fact that she's a giant. She was a giant in golf. Not just metaphorically. Joan Carter is 6 foot tall. Okay. And she didn't just dominate. She towered over her competition. She was known for being fun, fearless, laughing her way through tournaments, and that didn't mean she wasn't serious when it mattered.
A giant on the course and in personality? Sounds like she had a lot going for her. But how'd she even get into golf in the first place?
This is like not great writing. Wow, ChatGPT, you can do better.
Right.
Believe it or not, Joan didn't pick up golf until she was 11 years old. Most people thought you would start much younger to be a pro, but Carter was a natural. By 17, she was already a national champion.
Yeah, see, back in the day, we didn't have like those parents that used to like fuck up childhood and stuff. And so, you know, like you developed multiple skill sets naturally by playing, and then, you know, you pick up a sport pretty quickly.
Let's not overarching say that like the boomers' parents didn't fuck up their kids, because they probably did. They just also weren't around for them to like fuck up in the like helicoptery way. It's probably like she had her 11 years of fun and then picked this up and she was like, wow, I'm pretty multidextrous now.
Boomers are micromanagers, and I will never support that.
I completely agree, but I think it's because they never had any supervision on themselves. And so that's why they feel like they have to micromanage in the same way that the 90s kids are like, we have to helicopter parent. Anyway.
Yeah, it's awful. Those 90s parents are boomers, Ma.
Yeah, I agree. It's not great.
Anyways, wait, just after a few years of starting? That's insane. She was only a teenager. How do you go from a high schooler with a golf club to being one of the greatest in history?
She worked her way through the amateur ranks like a hurricane.
The timing of that word choice is very insensitive, ChatGPT.
But Jesus, no shit. It's just picking up relevancy on relevancy. Joan won 5 straight U.S. women amateur championships in the 1950s and 60s, a record no one else has ever matched. That's when people really started calling her the Great Gunderson. That's wild. 5
straight? Now I'm impressed. What about the pros? Did she make it to the big leagues?
Oh, did she ever? Joan turned pro at 30. Most golfers would have been considered past their prime by then, but not Gundy. She joined the LPGA and instantly became a force to be reckoned with. She joined at 30 while also having all of those titles early on. Like, what did she do in her 20s?
She won those titles.
Oh yeah, I suppose like the 5 after. But I assume that was from her being 11 to 17.
No, that's when she started golfing and learning and got good, and then
17. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right. She started winning at 17, and then in her 20s hit a streak of 5 in a row, and then turned pro.
Hell yeah, bitch.
That's what I'm hearing.
Here's the thing, like you can continue to glow up and get better and better with time. And I think that is what that proves. Like she is essence of that.
Yeah, and also that golf's like a sport that old people can stay competitive at. You know, which says a lot in a lot of things. It's not about the power in your swing. It's more about body positioning and, accuracy of the placement of the club on the ball, and also just, probably muscle memory and lots of time and practice at it. And so age probably benefits you in some ways.
Kinda. I mean, my dad fucked up his shoulder, and that's why
because he's using power to compensate for skill. That's what we're talking about, like right now.
Connor, my dad fucked up his shoulder because he flipped a 4-wheeler on it, and that's why he can't do it anymore. It's like the muscles were repositioned in his arm to where it pulls on his so it's like not.
I thought you were saying he injured it while he was playing, and that's where my comment came from.
I know. Right. Full story on that is he injured it indirectly, but is now directly affected his golf game, so he can no longer play. But that all being said, like, yes, muscle memory is very important for a lot of this, and it's really just like how well are you able to drive your hips. If your hips are fine and are limber and in motion, it's postural muscles. Are you working your postural muscles? Yes or no? If you've got great postural muscle strength, you're going to be a great golfer / old person until you die. You're probably going to be the person.
So in other words, body positioning.
Yeah, I mean, like, that's kind of the tenfold of that. Sure.
Wait, she was still swinging a club against the pros at 65? That's wild.
I feel like we jumped something.
Oh. 30 isn't exactly young in sports, right? But she must have had some secret sauce to keep winning.
She was known for her incredible driving power and her no-fear attitude. Plus, she played the long game, sticking around in the sport for decades. Joan won 43 LPGA tournaments, including 2 U.S. Women's Opens. And get this, she was still competing at 65.
And as we know, competing at 84.
God bless!
ChatGPT, I know you haven't been updated in a few years, but it hasn't been 24 years or 20 years. 19 is technically how many years it appears you think she is. Wait, she was still swinging a golf club against the pros at 65? That's wild. Most athletes are retired by then.
Exactly. Her dedication to the game and her sheer love for it made her unstoppable. In fact, when she teed off on her first U.S. Women's at 65, she became the oldest player to ever make the cut in a major championship.
Wow. The oldest? She wasn't just a flash in the pan. She was like the Energizer bunny of golf and just kept going and going.
That's right. Joan's story is one of never giving up, always having fun, and letting her passion drive you. Literally, in her case, her energy, even her later years, was contagious.
So what can we learn from the great Gundy other than, being a total legend?
Well, Joanne taught us that it's never too late to go after your dreams. She didn't even get to turn pro until she was 30, and she still became one of the all-time greats. Her nickname, the Great Gundy, lives on because she never let it go. Lives on because she never let age, expectations, or setbacks define her. It was all about how much she loved the game.
That's a pretty inspiring takeaway. So whether it's sports, school, or anything else, it's not about where you start. It's about the passion and persistence you bring to the journey.
Exactly. Joan Carner's legacy isn't just about her wins. It's about how much she loved the sport, her fierce determination, and how she laughed her way to the top. That's what makes her truly legendary.
Sounds like a comedian at heart that Adam Sandler definitely needs to bring into his story.
I completely concur, ChatGPT.
So the next time someone asks you who your favorite sport hero is, don't forget about Joan, the Great Gundy Carner, because her story will stick with you just like a perfectly hit golf ball landing on the green. And to that point, I know that my own swim coach, who is a baseball legend where we're from, has a daughter who is now a Gunderson. And I hope that she gets to pull some of that Gundy magic to her upbringing for them, because I'm sure that would be what Gundo would want for his daughter.
Absolutely.
So,
thank you, Joan, for being the topic for today's week and the inspiration for all of us to continue moving forward in our best lives for as long as we shall live.
Yeah, and I think with that, we've got the alarms barking outside.
Oi.
So might as well wrap it for another week. I know we're a day early and a few hours before most people expected. But yeah, I'm sure we'll be a week late next time. Who knows?
Right, that's very true.
We'll be traveling over the next few weeks, so you'll see some new backdrops from us. Like, subscribe, follow for more.
And with that, I'm just gonna talk about the top of her head being Amana, which was I think a refrigerator company. But I ultimately wrote Amana, and I said a woman can do anything Amana can do. God bless you all. Have a great week. I hope we survive.
Yeah. Maybe it will be World War III. Maybe they'll tell us about it later on.
Yeah. I mean, when in doubt, stay tuned. Be your own sugar baddie.